It started in the middle of a Tuesday morning in a classroom where the air always felt a little heavier when the teacher walked in. Dr. Halverson, tall, silver-haired pressed shirt, the type who measured his worth by how loudly the room went silent, decided that day to make an example out of one kid. His eyes landed on a 12-year-old sitting quietly in the third row, the only black student in the class, and he smirked like he'd been saving this moment. "Mr. Carter," he said, voice sharp enough to cut glass since you're so eager with that secondhand textbook of yours, "why don't you show the class what makes a problem unsolvable?" The room went still. Students turned to watch Isaiah Carter straighten in his seat. He answered carefully the way a boy who'd learned to guard his words does. "An unsolvable problem is one that can't be proven true or false in the framework we're using, sir." Halverson waved it away. Textbook answer. Then he spun to the board and wrote 3 words that had humbled mathematicians for nearly a century. Collat's conjecture. He explained it like a cruel magician showing a trick. Even a child could understand the rules, yet geniuses at MIT couldn't solve it. "So tell me, Mr. Carter, what chance do you think you have?" Isaiah kept his face neutral, but the heat rose in his chest. When the teacher leaned over his desk and hissed, "I dare you to solve this by the end of the semester or admit you don't belong here," the class gasped. Even the rich kid in the front row looked stunned. But Halverson stood back with satisfaction like he'd just dropped a hammer. Isaiah walked out of that classroom knowing 2 things. 1, the man wanted him gone, and 2, running to the principal would only prove him right. At home, the smell of his mom's cooking usually softened everything, but that night it barely touched the knot in his stomach. He sat at the table, pretending to do regular homework while his dad typed on his laptop. His mom finally asked, "What happened today?" Isaiah shrugged. Nothing. Just Halverson being Halverson. But later, when the lights should have been out, he opened his laptop and typed Collat's conjecture into the search bar. That was the start of something none of them saw coming. The weeks that followed were brutal. Whispers in the cafeteria, kids placing bets on when he'd quit advanced math. Rich boy Tyler knocked his notebooks off the library table one afternoon, smirking. "Guess your groundbreaking research is all over the floor now." Isaiah just gathered the pages quietly, hands shaking not from fear, but from fury. And yet night after night he filled notebook after notebook. Sequences of numbers like rivers pouring into one. He saw patterns others had missed, fragile threads that might lead somewhere. And then, an email showed up from an address he didn't recognize. "Your approach shows promise. Try Markov chains." Isaiah stared at it, heart pounding. Someone out there saw him. Someone believed he might be onto something. He followed the clues, built algorithms, tested numbers so large the school computers groaned under the weight. His eyes burned from sleepless nights, but his spirit caught fire. His friend Lena, the only one who stuck by him, whispered during lunch, "You look different. Lighter." Isaiah grinned for the first time in weeks. I found a new angle. But Halverson wasn't done. He gave a brutal test filled with college-level calculus, the kind meant to break anyone who dared to stand out. Isaiah finished first. When he handed it in, Halverson sneered. "Giving up already?" Isaiah said, calm. "No, sir. Finished." The man's smirk faded when he graded it. Every answer was perfect. Elegant. He accused Isaiah of cheating. Isaiah looked him dead in the eye. "Mathematics builds on itself. I learned these techniques while researching your dare. You taught me that." The room flipped. For once, Halverson was the one caught flat-footed. By then, Isaiah's mysterious mentor had revealed herself, Dr. Alicia Monroe, a Princeton mathematician, one of the few black women to ever reach the top of the field. She'd been guiding him anonymously, pushing him without stealing his credit. "Document everything," she told him. "Your work deserves to be seen." So when the State Mathematics Symposium came around, Halverson nominated Tyler as the school's representative because his dad's money kept the lights on. But Principal Alvarez pulled Isaiah aside after the assembly and whispered, "Independent submissions come through my office. Deadline's next week." Isaiah turned in his packet with trembling hands. He didn't know it yet, but the judges had moved him to the main stage. That day at the symposium, man, you could feel the air shift. Tyler gave his presentation first derivative applications anyone could pull from a textbook. Professors clapped politely, eyes glazed. Then came the surprise announcement, our next presenter, 12-year-old Isaiah Carter, with a novel framework for approaching the Collatz conjecture. The crowd gasped. Halverson's face went pale. Isaiah stepped up wearing the only suit he owned, pressed crisp by his mom the night before. His voice was steady, almost too steady for a kid his age. The Collatz conjecture has resisted proof for nearly a century, not because mathematicians lack brilliance, but because we've been approaching it with the wrong tools. Today I present a new framework. Numbers danced across the screen behind him, flowing like rivers into one. Professors leaned forward, scribbling notes. MIT's head judge whispered, "This is graduate-level thinking." Isaiah showed how his algorithm could predict paths beyond current limits, how probability models revealed hidden order in chaos. When he finished, the auditorium erupted, professors on their feet, reporters shoving microphones forward. And in the middle of it all, Halverson tried to push through red with rage. "This is unauthorized." He had no right. Principal Alvarez stepped in smooth as silk. "Independent submissions don't require your approval. You knew that." The MIT judge clapped Isaiah on the shoulder. "Son, your work deserves publication. I'll personally recommend you for early admission." Halverson sputtered. "He hasn't solved it. He failed the dare." Isaiah turned calm as ever. "You told me to make significant progress. I built something new. You wanted to break me, but you ended up exposing yourself." The silence that followed was heavier than thunder. Other students started nodding. Even Tyler muttered, "He's right. You always played favorites." Halverson was suspended, then fired. The board uncovered years of targeting scholarship kids, especially kids of color. By the time the dust settled, Westbrook Academy had a new center for mathematics named after Dr. Monroe, and Isaiah was its first peer mentor. Months later, he got an email from Nigeria. A kid wrote, "You showed me people like us can do anything. Thank you for not giving up." Isaiah replied, "You belong in every room you choose to enter. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise." The Collatz conjecture is still unsolved. But Isaiah proved something bigger, that brilliance doesn't wear a uniform, doesn't check a bank account before showing up, doesn't ask permission from gatekeepers. Sometimes brilliance looks like a quiet 12-year-old with a secondhand textbook and a teacher who thought he could crush him. Now here's where I leave you, family. Was Dr. Halverson just a cruel man who got what he deserved? Or do you think some teachers genuinely believe humiliation builds greatness? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear if you've ever seen brilliance get buried under bias. And if you believe kids like Isaiah deserve the same chance as anyone else, hit that like button, subscribe for more stories like this, and share this one with someone who needs to hear that they belong. Because at the end of the day, no dare in the world can erase true talent.